Yo, what's going on, guys? Let me walk you through a full peak strength and power session with our pro baseball guys. All right, so I'm gonna break this down on a whiteboard for you guys really quickly. I wanna walk you through a total body split. These guys are going 4 days a week. I wanna show you how I keep them sharp in their final phase before I hand them off to spring training. So a lot of the focus is just really polishing them up, really trying to maximize their force, their overall output, and keep them sharp as they continue to add more volume on the baseball side. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's get into the bulk of their actual resistance training. So we just got done a decent amount of linear speed training. It took all of about 30 to 40 minutes, roughly. They are in that final phase, so I've really kind of tapered off some of the volume. The intensity's still staying high, but I'm really manipulating with more of a total body split. We're going 4 days a week, and I'm trying to keep them as sharp as we possibly can before I hand them off into preseason, AKA spring training. First and foremost, after that, we got right into our lower body. So we've been hammering trap bar deadlift. And if you kind of seen how we've progressed, we've went from essentially a little bit of volume to then absolute strength with the trap bar deadlift, really built up, really staying under fives, keeping it heavy. And now that we are in that final phase, I'm getting them to really move this trap bar. So after we've built up to that essentially 1 rep max and really building up their absolute strength, we then start to bring down the percentage, right? But we're moving that weight as fast as we can. And in this particular session, with this particular week, we've started with a more moderate weight where they're moving just a little bit heavier, kind of in that 60 up to 65 percentile, but they're actually moving with the weight. Now, the difference between what we did before when they were moving that weight really fast with the trap bar, and now is I'm actually having them leave their feet. And the reason being is because even if you're going up as fast as you can, you still have to decelerate the top. So I don't want them to decelerate top. I want them to start from the ground up in one consistent, fluid, fast motion, and that's why we're jumping with it. So it's not a continuous jump. They're resetting every single time, but I'm really focused being able to accelerate from the ground all the way through that hip extension. After they get done the trap bar jump, I'm then going to contrast that with a max effort hurdle. We've been continuously doing this and they are building up, and this is where we really start to peak with a maximal effort jump. Love the hurdles. It's more backyard ball. Go ahead and get it, line it up, set it up to a high stick and just have them approach and try to get the biggest maximal jump that they possibly can. Every single rep is reset. So I'm here, right? I set everything up, I pull myself down. I pull my shoulder blades back, I'm locked into place right here. From here up, nothing moves. Create pressure, nothing moves. I wanna cut all the slack out of it. I don't wanna see when you start to move that weight, you start to lose your shoulder blades. Everything tight, boom, bang, push, under control, reset. Then you reset, you don't tap and go. After you catch yourself, it's not a tap and go. Reset every single time. It's gotta be max effort on the way up as high as you could possibly go. Then we're gonna come transfer, we have a max effort hurdle jump. I just need one big jump after that. You guys got 5 rounds. 135, 185, 225 for 3, let's go. So when you get to 225, you're not really gonna leave the ground that much. But if you have it with that intent, you're gonna explode out of it, all right? Here we go. You see how your hips are like you're very hinged, so you're really lifting the weight, right, with a lot of your lower back. So what I'd rather see is pull those hips down and let me see your chest a little bit more at the bottom. So hips down, big chest. That's better. There we go. Everything tight. Flex your abs like you're at the beach. Big explode. Good. You have to sink your lower body with it to be safe in that, especially with that heavier weight. Yeah, you're using a lot of energy and you're actually exposing yourself a little bit. I saw you. So when you're coming down, you gotta let yourself sink and almost come to the ground. You're trying to come down and catch it. You get what I'm saying? Then after that, we're gonna get into our first set. This is usually where we focus on a secondary push or a secondary pull, depending on what it is. For today or for this week, for our actual vertical press, we went more to a landmine press. So we've started from a seated position, went to a half kneeling position, then we went to a split stance. Now I'm having them square up on it, feet underneath, and I'm getting them a little bit more involved in their lower body, right? So as opposed to the upper body doing the work or the trunk, now they're starting with that force from the ground, really trying to get them to have good principles, set those hips back, be able to produce force. It's almost like a landmine push press, if you will, for this variation. After that, they're gonna superset that. As I said, we're going total body with some Nordic hamstring curls. They're this far along in the process where I'm trying to encourage them to get as many reps without their hands that they possibly can, right? So we've gone through blocks where we focused on eccentric, we've even gone through isometric. Now we're trying to put it all together, and they should start to get 3 to 4 sets of about 5 reps on their own. That's what we're striving for. 2 movements, slight variation. We've been going split stance, right? Using a little bit more upper body. I just want you to bring your feet together, right? So feet right underneath the hips. Hips go back, and you're right here, right? Hips go back and explode, and explode. So it's almost like a landmine push press. If you tend to dip your hips, that's fine. I just want you're getting your lower body a little bit more involved. You'll be able to go up and weight a little bit more. 6 reps each side. Then we're going over there, 5 perfect Nordic hamstring curls. Your first 1, 2, 3. Try to use no hands, try to come all the way down, pull yourself back with a rhythm. If you gotta use a little touch, a little bit of push, that's fine. I want you trying to get 5 on your own though. It's that time of the off season where you should be able to get 1, 2 on your own with no hands. And then to finish it off, because we added a lot of stress up at the top of it, I didn't add a lot of different accessories. Usually we add about 2 to 3 more movements within a workout for their total body. However, I kind of gave them a little bit of a break, seeing how yesterday and today was. So I modified it, and we just did some arm curls. So they just did like an incline Zotman curl. And that's essentially where you're just flipping at the top. And then we continued on with being able to work their trunk. We went from a seated rotation, non-resisted, to a more resisted seated rotation. So consistently working that. I did this in particular with a little bit more resistance because what you have to understand is in this phase of their training, the amount of ballistic med ball tosses and rotational tosses that they have for speed, I wanted to do something where we incorporate a little bit heavier weight, if you will. Yeah, so first one, Zotman curls, just a arm flexion, mostly working some bicep, a little bit more bodybuilding with these guys. Really like it, works the grip as well, works the forearms. So every time at the top, I change, under control. Only flip at the top, only flip at the top. 12 total, so up and down is 1, 12 total, right? Number 2, we've been doing seated rotations here, 20 each side. I want you guys to actually go weighted now. So it's all the same principles. On my butt, knees are bent, heels are on the ground, my legs aren't lifted off. From here, I want to get as long in my torso as I can, try to get as close to a 45-degree angle as you can, and lock it in place. Especially when you add resistance, you're gonna want to flex. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay as tall as you can. From this position right here, I'm gonna reach the ball to my side, take a 10-pound ball. You're gonna go from side to side, touch the ball, try to think range of motion. It's easy to extend your arms, right? And then my torso doesn't rotate because I'm cheating with my arms. I want you to rotate and almost lock your arms in place and rotate and try to touch the ground. Does that make sense? You guys have 12 each side there, so let's go 24. 10 to 15 each side. See how it is. 10 pounds you guys should be able to do. You guys are doing 20s with no weight. All right, 1, 2, back and forth, 3 rounds, you guys are done. There you have it, guys. You guys kind of got to see how I break down a total body lift. A lot of modifications because of the amount of stress that I'm adding throughout each day through the week. And we're continuously progressing and enhancing, right, some of the complexity of movements while also being able to kind of taper down the total volume. A lot of the work has been done. So again, a lot of this is just polishing them up before they go into spring training. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you guys next time.